And we're off. Welcome into another episode of the Patriots podcast. I'm Sean here with Ryan and JJ.
Hello. What's up?
The first official podcast of the NFL season. We've been building up to this for a couple months now. Couldn't be more excited that this is actually happening. I keep having to pinch myself this week. Like, we have a real NFL game on Thursday night. Can't believe it.
I know. It's nuts, isn't it?
It's
crazy.
It takes so long. But we're finally here. Today we got an awesome show, jam-packed. So we're going to preview the Eagles game. We're going to take a look at some of the other games this weekend, what we got our eye on. And then we got our predictions, our annual predictions, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl winner, all the good things. So we'll get to that at the end. But first, a couple breaking news items coming out of New England. Jack Jones is free. Charges dropped. He's going to do a little bit of probation, and otherwise he's free and clear as far as the legal system goes. Now, Roger Goodell could put his boot down and decide that for whatever reason he's angry and wants to suspend him. But for now, it looks like the Patriots' defensive backfield will stay intact after that planned court date.
Yeah, very, very surprising from the initial reports that we got that he got off. I don't know how much you guys followed it today. Definitely some news came out about, he didn't know there was anything in the bag per se, and they couldn't find with a reasonable doubt that he knew that there was anything in the bag, and they had footage of someone handing the bag to him in the airport. And he's on what? Would you say a probation for a year and a fine, I think is what he's paying?
Yeah, I don't know how long the probation is, but probation, like 2 days or 48 hours community service.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think the guy should have went to, I don't know, probably gone to jail. An average person would have gone to jail.
Would have gone to jail.
Life sentence or anything like that. I mean, I figured it'd be a year. He'd get a year and that would be it. Then he'd be able to play again. It's not like what's his name out in Oakland who was manslaughter and went to jail.
Oh yeah.
But it's a big push for the defense. I mean, it kind of shows why the Patriots had kept him around as if he was going to be a starter. They must have known. They must have seen the evidence. Whatever, what have you. I mean, he didn't look great in the last preseason game when he played. So I still have that taste in my mouth, like, oh, he didn't look great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So but he's available now.
But he's available. He's our starting number 2 corner or number 3 corner, probably. Depending
it depends
on
how you stack
what
it.
They do with Johnny Jones, where Jalen Mills falls into place with this whole thing. But I mean, great news for the team for sure. I'm happy about that. I'm kind of shocked that 24 hours of community service or 48 hours of community service. It's not a lot. And while he's on probation, the dude better not leave his goddamn hotel room or house or anything. Because then I'm sure if you get popped for something else or he does something else stupid, that always magnifies the first thing you're on probation for.
Yeah.
So keep it clean.
I'm sure the judge explained that to him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, keep it clean and count your blessings, because it kind of just proves, the legal system, as long as you don't do anything absolutely ridiculous, murder, rape, anything crazy, money will anything stealing wise or like doing something you're not supposed to, being in the wrong area, you can pay off. Now,
let's keep it on football heel.
I'm no legal counsel, but you'll probably get things paid off if you want to.
Yeah, this is our new segment. It's called Legal Advice from James J.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We should have a legal advisor for this show.
Exactly. Don't step on any landmines.
Especially with some of the shit the players have been through in the past, man. I mean,
yeah.
Imagine being a Bengals fan.
Oh boy, yeah. They've had their history. And then, so Jack Jones gets cleared of that. And then the other roster-related piece for the Patriots, Riley Reif, goes to IR. He was banged up. Who knows how good he was really going to be at this point in the season.
Big surprise there.
Move him to IR. We're down to 10 offensive linemen on the active roster. And then in his place, Pharaoh Brown, the tight end that was on the practice squad, got elevated to the 53-man roster. So we officially do have 3 tight ends. That's nice. Also of note, the team can elevate 3 guys from the practice squad for this game. So you could still see Bailey Zappi elevated for the game. You could see a couple other people. I'm thinking Ty Montgomery. They only have 2 running backs active right now. So could add a couple pieces, guys in uniform to face off against last year's NFC champions, the Eagles, in the Tom Brady game at Foxborough. Tony Romo, Jim Nance, national TV broadcast.
4:25 kickoff.
Big fucking deal. And the Patriots better fucking show up. I'm terrified. I'm really terrified that they're going to come out and be down 20 and Tom Brady's going to do the halftime thing and everyone's going to be chanting like, we want Brady. Like, it's going to happen.
Poor Mac. They keep setting him up. Philly's a bear of a team. We've talked about it in the last couple episodes. Just, when it comes to offensive line, which you just mentioned, Riley Reif's out. No big surprise there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's IR'd for the whole goddamn season so they can get out of his contract with some kind of injury settlement. It seems like that dude Calvin Anderson has been back at practice. I don't know about what you guys are reading. By all reports I'm reading, it sounds like he's going to be the starting right tackle.
He's projected to start at right tackle. Yeah.
It's projected to be him, and then the dude we picked up from Minnesota, Vidarian Lowe. Thank you. He might be sparingly going in there, but Vanderven.
Like watching too much Star Wars or something.
Okay,
probably.
Awesome.
The Eagles got all the talent in the world. Their offensive line is good. Jalen Hurts is, killing it at quarterback right now. The receivers are disgusting. First round picks all around.
Yeah.
Their running backs are so, but their offensive line makes up for that. 10 ends decent, and then their front seven is, I don't know, arguably best in the league, up there, top 3, whatever you want to call them.
It's up there. Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a game. I think, everybody and their mother is kind of picking the Eagles to win this. Everyone expects the Eagles to win this. They're coming off a Super Bowl loss, which always kind of can create a slow start to a season or really derail your following season. So that's what the Eagles are coming off of. I'm hoping that happens. And I'm hoping, the Patriots figure it out. I think we've got the talent. Our offensive line seems like it might not be a complete mess without all the projected starters being in there. I have hope. I do have hope. I don't, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, it's a tall task to ask the Patriots to beat this team on week 1, coming off of what the Eagles did last season. They were the 3rd best offense, the 2nd best defense. There's not a lot of flaws. I think it was like
that is correct.
Second least penalized or something like that. They don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. They're deep. Even if even if someone goes down, you got really good backups coming in, and it's probably the most talented team on paper that you're going to play, or probably in the NFL, really.
It's got to be, yeah.
Definitely up there.
I would imagine they're probably Super Bowl favorites or in the top 2 or 3. To get this week 1 is a tall task, and the offensive line hasn't even played together. Really, our starters. Yeah. Cole Strange has been out. I don't think Calvin Anderson's even practiced. Really, I mean,
just the last week.
Just this week,
he's practiced. Yeah, and they have a new offensive line coach. So even though they played together, a lot of these guys played together last year of the starters, haven't played under Adrian Clem, so maybe some things were changed up. You'd like to see him get more reps together than having it happen on national TV against the defending NFC champions.
I haven't seen anything from the Pats, though, that makes me think we can beat the Eagles. You have to play perfect, mistake-free football, create some turnovers, that kind of thing. You can't beat yourself in a game like this. It's going to be, and with Tom Brady coming in, that it kind of stings. Like to have the Eagles come in for this game, it would have been better if it was not such a difficult opponent.
I know.
It would
right?
Made me feel a lot better about the game.
Yeah, no doubt. So I was trying to put together a game plan for how the Patriots could beat the Eagles, and it's fucking preposterous. It's like here's what we got to do. We need to win the turnover differential by at least 2. We need to be aggressive on third downs against their offense, putting pressure on Jalen Hurts, playing man coverage on the back end without getting beat deep by A.J. Brown, presumably on Christian Gonzalez. Basically, A.J. Brown is a human muscle, and he's going to push around any of our cornerbacks, so we're kind of fucked there. But then when you're aggressive on third downs, you also need to contain Jalen Hurts and not let him beat you with runs all the time, which was our kryptonite last year, was running quarterbacks. We just couldn't contain them. You think of the Bears game.
That's why we got Mapu.
Yeah.
Literally.
So yeah, I don't, maybe he has an incredible opening night. So it's like, that's what we need to do defensively, because we need to get off the field. Because what we need to do offensively is somehow tire down their like 7 dynamite defensive linemen. And we need to do that by having the ball for like 36, 37 minutes in the game, preferably playing up tempo so they can't sub out. And then their linebackers are small. So my theory is you could go pretty big, maybe an extra offensive lineman, maybe 2 tight ends, and try to run off tackle. Just run away from Jordan Davis, wherever he is. Everybody else in their defensive line isn't that big. He's a mountain, obviously. But Fletcher Cox, a good player, can hold up at this point in his career. But then like Hassan Reddick on the edge, not known for run stopping, setting the edge. I just think we need to run off tackle away from him. Maintain the ball, get the ball out of Mac's hands fast. I'm actually starting Kendrick Bourne on my fantasy team this week. I think he's going to have a big game.
I do too.
Darius Slay is going to be on Devontae Parker. Bradbury's probably going to be on Juju. And Bourne's got the most chemistry with Mac and had a really good offseason and summer. So it's like, I don't know. We got to have the ball a lot. We got to take the ball away from them. We got to shut them down on third downs. And like we said, this is one of the best teams in the league. It's like everything's got to happen just right.
It's the number 1 pass defense from last year. Number 16 running defense from last year. So maybe, I agree with you as ball control, get Ramondre going, maybe play the possession game with him. I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, everything I read about Philly this year in preseason, it's like if Jalen Hurts misses a throw, it's shocking. It's not like when he makes good throws, it's like when he misses throws. One thing about Hurts' game that I've heard over the past couple days is, obviously we know all of his talent, but when, kind of like every other cornerback, when they get pressure up the middle, their pass percentage takes a nosedive. And that's the same case with him. When he is in the pocket, great statistics, but when he has to roll out of the pocket and can't run, that's when his passing statistics take an absolute nosedive. I think it was like QBR is like 24 or something when he's has to roll out of the pocket and throw. So up the middle pressure is going to be a big one for us. I think that's going to really, and they've got good guards. They've got, Kelsey's maybe the best center in the league.
Yeah.
So it's not like that's just easy to do, but you got Keon White now. Him and Wise are interior rushers. Barmore is an interior rusher. Like, let's see, get those guys going. If they can get something going up the middle, that's great. That might take him off his game a little bit, have a couple series where they have to readjust and stuff like that. And then from a defensive standpoint, it is Matt Patricia. I think he's the defense. Is he the defensive coordinator?
No, he's the assistant coach.
He's the assistant coach.
But he's probably got his fingers on the defense.
He's got his fingers on the defense, and Bill must know how he calls defense or, what he likes to do and stuff like that with the safety corner blitzes, things like that. So I would hope they have an idea of what he's planning on doing and kind of attack his weaknesses overall as a defensive coach, defensive coordinator, that type of thing. Plus, they have 2 new coordinators at both positions, right? Offensive and defensive coordinator, both new.
Yeah.
Like you guys were saying, they're a sound football team. Maybe that takes them their edge off a little bit because they have 2 new guys up there. It's possible that they have mistakes, substitution issues, stuff like that, offsides, things like that. Not that that's going to win you any games, but anything to get these guys off their spot in, I think, scoring fast. We were probably one of the worst teams or the worst team in scoring in the first quarter last year.
Yeah.
Bottom,
That was bad.
bottom two
Bottom
teams,
five,
something like
yeah.
that, bottom five. So I think that's super important for, them to get points on their first two drives, first quarter points, get on the scoreboard, maybe put some pressure on them.
Yeah.
Right?
Keep the confidence up, keep the
Keep
fans
the
engaged.
confidence up.
I think it's a lot to ask for some of those things you mentioned. They were third overall last year in the turnover game, turnover margin, second in penalty yards. I mean, on third down, their offense was third in the NFL. On fourth down, they were fourth in the NFL. We know how tough they are on fourth down. This is a team you have to, you get them to fourth down, you think you're off the field. Like, this is a team that, especially if they're in short yardage or if they're in, past the 40, the 35, 40. It's a team that doesn't care. They'll go for it. It's a lot. It's a, I don't want to be all doom. I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but I mean, this is like the worst possible matchup for week one.
Yeah,
it's tough. I mean, go for it.
It's just I think we're gonna play okay. I'm scared it's gonna go real bad. It could go in the tank right away. I'm scared about that, but I think based on the way that training camp has gone, based on the pieces they put in place on the coaching staff, I think they'll be okay. I still think they're going to lose, but I think they're going to be okay.
I mean, that's what I think too. I mean, it could definitely be a blowout. Could be 33-7 by the end of the game, but I'm leaning towards it's a close, competitive game. I mention it every year too. First four, and it's more like 4 to 6 weeks now. It used to be the first 4 weeks, but now with the lesser preseason, I mean, none of the Eagles players played all preseason, right? Like, no, not that we got a lot of snaps, but Matt got a couple series, stuff like that. You got some starters in there across the board. Most of the starters didn't play at all for Philly, and I feel like that's gotta, it could take a half for them to really kind of get things going, because it's just not the same as practice. I mean, that's kind of where the NFL is going, where it's just training camps now, just practice reps, and it's not game speed. It isn't. So hopefully that takes them a minute to get up to speed. I mean, this is a team that only lost 4 games last year, 1 including the Super Bowl. Right? They lost 2 late in the year to Dallas and New Orleans in, not blowouts, kind of close games, and then they lost somehow the Commanders mid-season. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, it's that division.
That was a tricky game.
They just know each other so well.
Yeah.
One thing I feel weird saying, I want to see just better football from the Patriots. And if they lose, they lose. But, like, I want to see,
competitive football.
Something entertaining, man. I mean, watching that offense last year, it was like no one knew what the hell they were doing. I just want to see some competency, people in the right places at the right times, not making mistakes like crazy. I want to see Trent Brown not jump to a false start all the time. I'm just looking for some entertaining football on this one. And if we lose, that's okay. It's a long season. You're playing probably the best team in the NFL right now. I mean, arguably, and just see some like progress, I guess is what I want.
There you go. Set the bar low for week 1.
Yeah.
We want a better showing than we had last year on opening day against the Dolphins. Yeah, it's a tough matchup. All eyes are going to be on them. Luckily, the expectations shouldn't be that high in this game, given the opponent. But yeah, like you said, we want to see some good, competent, professional football.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's the 4:00 game. We got a couple other decent games.
What's your projections for the game?
Ooh, I got the Patriots 19, Eagles 23.
Right.
Eagles 27, Patriots 13.
Well, my whole tradition was to always pick the Patriots.
Yeah, but that was with Tom Brady.
Times have changed.
Yeah,
I know. All right, competitive game. I'll go Patriots lose 30-24.
It's going to be cool to see him in the house. Tommy boy, back home.
I know.
You think they're going to retire his number?
Yeah,
they should.
They're going to retire his number, but I don't think it's tomorrow or Sunday.
They just want to extend, like keep bringing him back every year. Okay, here's another accolade. Now we're going to put up a statue. Now we're going to put a whole banner for you. You're going to be the only person in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I heard something from one of the guys on Patriots.com said this is the first of many Tom Brady nights.
Fuck yeah. That's what we want.
I think retire his number right away. I mean, what are you waiting for? Like,
yeah,
you're
I'm
going
glad
to
nobody
retire
has
that
it.
fucking number.
No, I don't think anyone's going to.
I don't want to see anybody.
Imagine the Stones? Yeah, no one's worn it.
I hate that.
No.
I always hate when, and then you end up with like a Boston Celtics team where like, you know what I mean? There's no fucking numbers available at all.
Oh yeah,
It's these trash numbers. Like dude's wearing like 63. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember when I saw Marcus Smart wearing 36. I was like, oh god, I guess that's the only number in the 30s that's left.
Nothing available, dude. There's nothing available.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but it'll be awesome to see Tommy back out there. Maybe we can get a let's go out of him. That's all we can really ask. Okay, so some of the other games, obviously, kickoff Thursday night, mentioned before. Lions traveling to Arrowhead, taking on the Chiefs. Chiefs are going through some shit right now. Travis Kelce left practice today, hyperextended knee. Chris Jones still hasn't signed, is threatening to sit out until week 8 or something like that. At the end of the day, do you think the Lions could do this on the road, even if the Chiefs don't have 2 of their 3 best players? I don't know. Yes. I feel like they could.
Yes, I do. I fucking like the Lions.
So too.
You know, if anyone...
you think the Lions... Would you say... What? Frame that question again? I missed the first
I said, do you think they could do this? Do you think they could pull it off? The Lions. Do you think they could pull it off?
I think everyone is so high on the freaking Lions, and my response is they're the Lions. They're going to... I think they're going to suck. I know Ryan completely disagrees with me. A lot of people have... I think Goff has been lucky. I don't think their coach is actually that good. I don't know, man. And everyone says they have a great offensive line, which they might.
They do.
I just don't see it. You know, it's like...
All right, so the Lions are super talented, and they believe in their coach. And whether
garbage.
or not you like the coach, they believe in him, and they play for him. So, you know, if anyone's going to go in the, you know, Kansas City, Arrowhead, week 1, and knock them off, I feel like the Lions could do it, you know, especially with what the Chiefs are going through right now. I am high on the Lions right now.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think there's a scenario where the Lions' offensive line against the Chiefs without Chris Jones can just handle the game.
Yeah,
they just dominate the line of scrimmage. They keep the ball almost the whole game, and they use those 2 backs. And they protect Goff the whole time. That's the number one thing with Goff is if he's protected, he can make the throws.
I mean, they have young talent.
In week 1, anything's possible. Anything can happen in week 1. Chiefs had a slow start early last year, so it's... I don't know.
The Lions' offensive line is legit too.
I know that. No, they are legit, but it's just like it's the friggin' Lions. I can't.
I know. We'll find out Thursday night.
It's like with Goff too. You know, it's like I have not only do you have to trust in the Lions, you have to trust in Goff. It's like there's 2 that I just can't. I can't do it.
This is lucky for him. Like, the weather's supposed to be nice because he does not like it chilly.
Yeah.
If you can string together like 3 straight drafts like they've had, you know,
Lions.
That's how easy it is to become a legit. I mean, obviously you need a quarterback, but I think they're a legit team in the NFC.
Is Gibbs going to be a game changer? He's not. Is he going to start?
I mean, he'll get a ton of time.
Yeah.
They signed what's his face from the Browns, Montgomery.
Yeah.
David Montgomery. So he'll be the bell cow in terms of between the tackles. Jahmyr Gibbs just a 3-level playmaker.
Yeah, he's a terrific
game
athlete,
breaker. Yeah. Okay. First game on Sunday. I'm looking forward to San Francisco traveling to Pittsburgh. Another team that's had great success and is missing probably their best player. Nick Bosa continues to be unsigned. Hasn't shown up to the facility. It's coming right down to the wire here, and they're going on the road across the country to play Pittsburgh, who's one of the best coach teams in the entire NFL. I don't know what to do with this game. Brock Purdy, we really haven't seen him after the elbow injury last year. I'm kind of leaning towards the Steelers in this game.
I am
I don't
too.
know. They've had a
I
lot
am
of good
too.
publicity in the offseason too, with all the George Pickens highlights and everyone saying Kenny Pickett's much better. They actually played in the preseason, so they should be
Mhm.
further ahead than a lot of teams that didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see the Niners getting off to a slow start here too. Just the way
Same.
things have been for them. Kind of distractions and Purdy coming back. I don't know if it's the Steelers that gets them off to a tough start. I feel like the Steelers have their own problems. Although I do feel like they're going to run the ball really well this year, and I think their defense is markedly better.
TJ Watt returns fully healthy.
Yeah, I have concerns about their passing game. And the Niners, they need to get Bosa back in. I don't know what you need to do there. Pay the guy. He's incredible.
Yeah, why wouldn't
what's-
you? He's
is he
25,
doing this-
26.
Is he
Why aren't
doing
you
the
paying
same
him?
thing that Chris Jones is? Is he
He hasn't-
out for?
He hasn't been as public about I'll sit out half the year.
Right.
It's been pretty quiet. They're like, we're gonna get something done. We expect him by this time, and then every time they expect him by, he's not there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ryan. There's just like a lot of smoke there. It's nothing bad, but just like a lot of different player movement and shifting. And there's a ton on Brock Purdy's shoulders. I mean, they usually draft really well. Debo's coming off an injury. Kittle got banged up, I feel like, in the playoffs, but it wasn't that bad. It's just a lot on Brock Purdy. I don't know. He had a great string of 6 or 8 games last year. And it's like, how long is that going to continue? This guy was Mr. Irrelevant,
Yeah.
Even
it's
Tom Brady.
It's easy to bet against him, but I think that
It is. But, even Brady, though, like, look at his second year. Like, everyone is, he just, he was a nobody, won the Super Bowl. Everyone's like, he's going to go guns blazing. And they went, 9-7 that year?
9-7. They were 3-0 to start the year.
They were 3-0 to start the year, and that's fine. I know there was a lot of things in that season that kind of took away from Brady, Brady's production and everything, and it wasn't really his fault. But it's just like they're expecting him just to be this guy. They just traded their friggin' first round number 3 overall that they traded 3 first rounders for him. It's like that adds to the pressure. It's like, okay, now we've chosen Mr. Irrelevant over the number 3 overall. You have to be great. And I don't know. Some guys just don't respond.
I also feel like Brock Purdy is in such a good situation. Like, he doesn't need to carry that team. That team's got plenty
true, yeah.
Of weapons. He could just give the ball to on easily scheme short plays. He doesn't really need to, be Tom Brady with this.
No.
Like, you know what I mean?
But he did. He threw a lot, though, in the playoffs, I feel like. Didn't he?
In the one game?
Was it one game?
He didn't throw it all in the second game.
No,
oh, right.
Throw
You
much
heard
in
his
that second
shoulder.
game, buddy.
Yeah, right.
He did.
And now he's got McCaffrey, so...
I know. I'm sure we'll talk more about the Niners later on when we're doing our predictions for who's going to advance into the Final Four this season.
Debo's an easy guy to get the ball to. I mean, you could just fucking hand the ball off to him. You could hand the ball off to McCaffrey. You have Kittle as a safety blanket. Ayuk. It's just and a really good offensive line. It's just like this
and
is
a master play caller.
And a perfect situation for a young quarterback. Like, he's Mr. Irrelevant. He's probably not the most talented kid, but he's got some balls and like,
that counts for something.
There's worse situations than that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So these are in the must-watch category. 2 AFC East matchups. Dolphins going to LA to play the Chargers. Just the amount of speed and talent that's going to be on the field in this game is going to be mesmerizing. So I'm super stoked for that game. This is a coin flip for me. Might be giving away some stuff, but I have a decent feeling about the Chargers this year, which is probably misfounded. But I'm going to take the Chargers to start off quickly in this one. So I got them.
I sure as shit hope they beat Miami, so I'll take the Chargers too. Every AFC East loss is great for the Patriots.
Yeah.
The Chargers, man, I mean, it's like every year for a decade, I feel like. People have been like, oh, the Chargers are up and coming. The Chargers are going to do something great. And then every single fucking year, they're disappointing. they squeak into the playoffs. I feel like they get injured, like
Yeah, they do get injured a
plethora
ton.
of injuries every year. I don't know what that is, or if that's like a training thing or just dumb luck. I don't have any faith in them. I think Miami's going to be a really good team, but I'll choose the Chargers just because I'd love for Miami to lose. I think Miami would. If I had to bet on it, I'd take Miami.
How about that?
I like the Chargers.
Dissension in the ranks.
I like the Chargers as well. Obviously, everybody knows I'm a huge Herbert fan, but the weapons they surrounded him with, you got Rashawn Slater back healthy. That's a huge thing for him. And Herbert being healthy, because he wasn't right all year last year. It's not a horrible defense. They've addressed some things in the middle of that defensive line, which I think was a huge problem for them. So I'm going to go Chargers in that game. But I think, the Dolphins aren't going to go anywhere just based on that one loss. Even if they lose the game, they win the game, they're going to be around all season. They're a tough team.
Yeah, no doubt. The other AFC East matchup, this one is just juicy. Monday Night Football, Bills going to the Jets, Aaron Rodgers' debut in green. My goodness. This is going to be a seriously fun one. I got to take the Bills. I just think the Bills are a better team. And they got more history, more cohesion together.
Yeah.
But this could go any way. I'm just super stoked to see this one. And happy that one of them gets to lose. Is it in Buffalo? No, it's in New York.
It's in New York. Meadowlands. I feel like the Jets are just going to come out firing. I mean, would they go 6-2 last year to start, and they fell apart throughout the season? I feel like it's going to be, if anything goes wrong for them, it's going to be the same schedule for them. I think they're going to come out firing. Hand the Bills a loss. They got a lot of momentum going into this year. Rodgers does look pretty damn good. They've got a shitload of talent. And Buffalo's just kind of been, everybody's got questions about him. What's going on? Diggs has had his issues. What's he going to be when he steps on the field? Is he going to be the same guy? I mean, but then there's the Jets' offensive line, which is way worse than ours. So.
What are the odds that Stephon Diggs throws his helmet at some point in this game? I put it at like 20%.
Could be likely. Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Yeah. He just finally gets on national TV, voices the frustration.
I have a feeling the Jets are going to win. I mean, I don't know. It could go either way.
I feel like the Bills are a much better team right now. Maybe by the end of the season, the Jets will be, in that conversation. But I don't know. I have a hard time picking the Jets over the Bills right now.
Yeah. Okay. Now we move on to the second tier. I got some intriguing games. Maybe not must watch, but I'm interested.
Intriguing. Mm-hmm.
Intriguing. The Bengals. Battle of Ohio going to Cleveland to play the Browns.
Yep.
Joe Burrow was out. Now he's back at practice. Still hasn't got the contract. You got to feel pretty good about the Bengals. And then the Browns. The Browns is the reason this is intriguing, because I want to know what type of Deshaun Watson we're going to see. Yeah, because we saw a guy that was
not
top
Deshaun
5
Watson.
Quarterback, and he led the league in passing yards three seasons ago. Sat out a year, sat out most of last season, and then looked like garbage when he came back.
Yeah,
you got a guy at head coach and offensive play caller that made Baker Mayfield look good.
Yeah,
you got a good offensive line. They added Orlando Brown. They've got tackle depth there. They've obviously got Nick Chubb, receivers on the outside, Amari Cooper, Peoples-Jones, picked up Elijah Moore. I'm blanking on his name, but the tight end. Njoku, talented. I'm interested. How good are they going to be? Plus, they got defense. They got good players on defense too.
They do.
I feel like they draft my favorite players every year.
It is an interesting matchup, and I like the Browns to an extent, but I just think the Bengals are one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
But I really do want to see if Deshaun Watson can recover some form from 4 years ago, when he was, arguably a top 5 quarterback. Are we ever going to get back to that? Are we ever going to see that again? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I think the Bengals are just ridiculously talented on offense right now. Receivers, Joe Burrow. I think Burrow, like you said, he hasn't got the contract yet. He obviously wants the contract. last year was a pretty good season for him, but they didn't go as far as they wanted. I think he's still got a lot to prove. He's still got that chip on his shoulder because he hasn't won anything yet. So I think they're going to overmatch the Browns. But yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see which Deshaun Watson wants onto the field. I mean, that's, they didn't they trade a ton for him?
King's ransom and guaranteed his entire contract.
And guaranteed him hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's like he's got a lot riding on it. He kind of has to put out, or it's the clock's ticking on him. So yeah, I'm interested.
Some people are picking Cleveland to be like 11-game winners this year. I mean, they could win 5 games.
I could see everything. I feel like every freaking team in the league outside of Indianapolis and Houston, maybe that whole division, is it going to be 10? Everyone's projecting 10, 11 win teams all across the board. Everybody. Yeah. Everybody's going to win 10 or 11 games. It's like, that doesn't make sense. There has to be shitty teams. There always is.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the next intriguing matchup. Raiders at Broncos. This one,
it could be
two
shitty teams.
Yeah. 2 teams that some people are like, they could sneak into the playoffs, but probably not.
They could be awful too. Yeah.
They could be really terrible. So we talked about this a little bit before the podcast. All kinds of smoke coming out of Vegas. What's going on with the players' relationship with coaching staff and management? Chandler Jones specifically. Josh Jacobs just got back there. Kind of Jimmy G is new. There's just some kind of turmoil out there.
McDaniels always do this?
Yes.
He goes somewhere, he pisses off their top 3 players, and then everyone's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
He did it in Denver. He did it in the Rams. And now he's doing it in Vegas.
He makes himself very unlikable to players, I feel like.
I don't know why. What is he doing?
Maybe
what the hell?
You know what? The only thing I can think of is the same thing a lot of the Patriots ex-coaches do.
They think they're Belichick.
They walk in and they try to act like Belichick, and you can't do that because you don't have the track record to back it up. Belichick is like, it's like basically you're an inmate. You know what I mean? You're very regimented. You have to be regimented. And if you're not, and if you don't take things 100% seriously at all times, there's no joking around, there's no bullshit. Like, to go in there as a failed former head coach, offensive coordinator, and try to demand those kind of... And I don't know if he's doing that. I'm just spitballing.
Because Patricia did it in Detroit too. He walked in there, he pissed off their 3 couple top guys, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?
You're not Belichick. You're an offensive coordinator that got the job because you were a decent offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
And it takes time to earn that respect. It takes wins and championships to earn that level of respect. And I don't know if that's what he's doing, but that would be my guess.
Well, he gets his first matchup of the season against his former team, Denver Broncos, who have a new head coach themselves. Sean Payton came in, threw some haymakers at the former coaching staff, Nathaniel Hackett's staff. All signs point to Russell Wilson not being any better this year. If he can't get better with Sean Payton, then it's probably a lost cause. Speaking of trades that didn't turn out great for quarterbacks. But it's in Mile High. There's something to be said about that. And that defense still has a ton of talent in Denver. They got weapons on offense. I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see. Javonte Williams is back as the starting running back. I mean, I don't know who's going to show up on either team. I expect it to be pretty ugly.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas has a lot of talent. I feel like, they got Devontae Adams, they got Josh Jacobs. Garoppolo's been a solid quarterback for, most of his career. It's tough for him to stay on the field, but he's always played well. And I think his record for wins and losses is fairly ridiculous when you go look at it.
Yeah, it's staggering, actually.
The guy wins a lot. So they've got that going for him. I know their offensive line is kind of a mess. They drafted a lot of high-up players. When Gruden was there, a lot of those guys seem to be gone. And their defense is sneaky good. Max Crosby's over there. They've got some pieces. And then on the other side, Denver. Denver's got a decent defense. They've got some weapons, as you said. And I'm just curious to see what kind of team Sean Payton puts out. Because, everyone talks about Sean Payton like he's a god. Like he's up there with Andy Reid, Bill Belichick as, and Tomlin is like the best coaches in the league, and there was a time he was, but now he's older. He's been out of the league for what, 2-3 seasons?
Yeah.
And it's like, 2 seasons. So can he just jump back in and make Russell Wilson look good? He has always been a quarterback whisperer type guy. Like, what is he going to bring to that team? In the comments, as you mentioned about him going after the former head coach, it's like, are you saying that because it's really that bad, or is that like your excuse to be like, we're going to suck this year? It's because everything was bad last year. And that's kind of bullshit, because look how many teams got new. Look at what Deion Sanders just did in fucking Colorado. You guys see that?
Oh yeah,
It's one game. All right, so take it easy.
That is one
Deion
game,
Sanders.
but that's pretty, dude.
They're
I gotta
acting
say,
like they won the national championship. And I watched that game. I watched the entire game. Travis Hunter is a different kind of player. I like what they're doing.
Dude plays both ways.
Yeah, well,
crazy.
He is now. I mean, holy shit! He had like a bunch of pass breakups. I think 3 pass breakups, an interception. Should have had like 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he's a special player. But
yeah,
the reason I'm really interested in this game, and probably because I don't give a shit about either team, I just want to watch Patrick Surtain try to cover Devontae Adams. That's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, that's like arguably top 3 corner in the league.
Top 3 receiver. Yep.
Top 3 receiver, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we're intrigued by that one. A couple other games that I might tune in for. Titans at Saints. Hear me out. The Saints.
It's week 1. I'm going to watch fucking anything.
Oh, well, obviously. I'm not interested in the Titans at all. I expect the Titans to start the season well, because I think that's the type of team that Vrabel coaches.
Yeah.
The Saints are a better team than the Titans are. But how good is Derek Carr still? How incredible could Chris Olave be this season? The Saints defense should continue to be really good. They've had a ton of continuity there, all the way up to Dennis Allen calling that defense. I'm just interested in what the Saints are going to be like this year. I'm picking them to win the NFC South. Garbage division.
Yeah. I think that division's a toss-up. I actually really like the Falcons in that division.
Yeah. No one's picking the Bucs, so you're down to.
Yeah, the Bucs are. I think they're going to be bad.
They're going to be
dreadful.
Well,
and that kind of segues into the Panthers Falcons game.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting game. Panthers with the rookie quarterback, Falcons.
You just want to see Bijan.
I do. Yeah. Bijan, Pitts,
Yeah.
London. I mean, and a good offensive line.
They got some talent.
They're a quarterback away from being a really good offense. I think they have some really nice defensive pieces too. They just brought in the free safety from the Bengals, Jesse Bates. They got AJ Terrell over there. They have another corner that's pretty good too. So I don't know, man. I feel like the Falcons are a little sneaky.
Yeah. I could see it. I could see them. I was between them and the Saints in the South there.
I feel like Panthers
schedule too.
Yeah. I feel like the Panthers could be decent because they do have a lot of pieces on defense. But I think the Saints.
Frank Reich
I can't do it.
I can't do it.
I can't do it again. But yeah, I feel like the Saints are a sneaky pick. I really do. I feel because the NFC overall is not that strong. And the Saints, like you said, they're sneaky, got some sneaky good talent down there that you kind of forget about because they've been so bad and had so many injuries and so many things over the past couple of years, and the disastrous cap space hell that Sean Payton put them in. Everyone talks about Sean Payton. I think they're still paying off $50 to $100 million from his team 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think they're sneaky good. They've had some good drafts. They've put some good talent on the field. I'd take them to win that division. I would.
Okay. The last one I have in the I'm going to tune in category, it's really only because it's on Sunday Night Football. The season hasn't started yet, and I'm already kind of sick of the Cobboys and Giants.
The NFC East?
Yeah, I'm already kind of sick of it.
It's like, them again? I know, literally,
right.
Dude.
Obviously, it's the only game on, so I'm going to be watching. But
yes,
I'm looking forward to Brian Daboll. Just some of the looks he gives on the sideline are great. Love
Yeah,
seeing
that's
Wink
true.
Martindale stalking the sideline with the
Wink.
white sleeves, dialing up the blitzes. He's so aggressive defensively. I think the Cowboys are going to be really good. They're fairly stacked, but I'd probably take the Cowboys in this game, but I'd be rooting for the Giants, which doesn't feel great in my stomach.
I agree with you. I think Dallas will win. I think the Giants keep putting pieces together, and Daboll is a good coach, and he did a really good job last year. I don't have any faith in Daniel Jones. I feel like they just gave him $40 million a year or whatever, and that's just going to bite him in the ass. I waiting for that guy to fail. But for the Cowboys, I feel like every single year everyone talks about them like they're world beaters. And every single year they disappoint, whether it's through injury or coaching or whatever. It's still what's his name? Mike
McCarthy, your favorite.
McCarthy, yeah, over there. Unplugged headset on sidelines.
It's just static going through those headphones.
And they've always had I feel like their offensive line has always been considered the best. They've gotten older, they've aged. Their defense, they still got Micah Parsons and a couple huge pieces over there. I just don't think they're gonna last through the season. I have no faith in Dak. I feel like Dak is overrated, and every year everyone talks about him being great and being this comeback player and this, that, and the other thing. And I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to have a good season. I think they're going to beat the Giants, and then they're going to slowly fall off the face of the earth by the end of the season.
That can happen.
I'm looking at the Giants, and I like what they've done a lot as far as shoring up some of the pieces on their team. Looking at their offensive line, they have 3 legitimate star players in the offensive line: Thomas, Schmitz, and Evan Neal. That's awesome. They brought in Darren Waller, arguably one of the best tight ends in the league.
That might have been the best trade of the offseason. What they get him for, like a 4th or 3rd round pick or something?
Yeah, I think a 3rd.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the receivers: Hodgins, Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, Paris Campbell. That's a deep group. They're all pretty good. Jalen Hyatt take the top off defense. You got Saquon there. You get your check down with Waller. That's a lot better than what they had before. And then their defense is solid. Ashawn Robinson, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams. That's their defensive line. You can say Thibodeau's a defensive lineman too. Okereke, Ojulari. They brought in Deontay Banks as a first-round corner. Xavier McKinney, Adoree Jackson. They got some fucking talent there, man. And I expect that defense to be one of the better defenses in the league. Isaiah Simmons isn't even a starter right now. They traded for just recently.
It's safety. They're going to play him at safety, right?
I think
they got him listed as a linebacker.
Well, yeah, the Giants have a real chance to end up a playoff team and finish second in that division.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what Wink does with Isaiah Simmons. He's just going to line him up at cornerback and blitz him every time.
Literally.
That's fine. You got Thibodeau on the other side. Jesus Christ.
Good.
All
right. So that's the first weekend of NFL football. It's nice we got 16 games.
What's the Monday night game? Did you mention the
Monday
night
night's
game?
the Bills-Jets.
Bills-Jets. Oh,
Monday night. I know.
Awesome.
I really hope Troy Aikman says something crazy. I feel like he was unbuckling his collar last season on Monday night. He's like, all right, I'm at a Fox now. I'm going to start ripping some people.
Yeah.
I want to keep that going.
I think I do remember that. He wasn't as positive.
Yeah.
Like the Chris Collinsworth, like everybody's great, not as much.
Is there anything else you're excited to see from any of the other games? I'm looking at Ravens Texans, and I'm just really excited to see Lamar Jackson play with Zay Flowers. That's like so dynamic to me. I couldn't think of 2 more dynamic players to have on the field together at the same time.
I would just worry about Lamar. He's only really had success throwing to tight ends. And Zay Flowers is like 5'9".
Yeah, he's tiny.
He gets open like immediately though, like in short space.
He does.
You don't need him to. You're not bringing him in to be Hollywood Browns just running a deep route. You know what I mean? Like you can put him underneath. You can put him in the slot. You can put him wherever you want. Gadget player. That to me is going to be fun.
I'm curious about Houston. I know it sounds terrible. I don't think CJ Stroud's going to be great, but hear me out. Remember last season the last like 8 games, what they lose like 14 or 15 games or whatever.
I think they were like 2-14.
Most of the last 10 games, everyone's like, "Oh, we're gonna kick the shit out of them," and they almost beat like everybody. They like lost
Including
by
us.
including us, almost lost by a score. And they, what's the dude? What's the kid they just drafted on defense? Is
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson.
Fucking phenom, dude. You guys,
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of people sleeping on them, and their division sucks. I know Jacksonville's there. I'm just saying, I wouldn't. Not to like they're going to make the playoffs or anything, but like they go 500, I wouldn't be shocked. Really wouldn't be shocked.
I would be
shocked about 500 just based on the youth of the team. But Stroud and Pierce, Collins, they got Tank Dell there. Mechie's coming back from cancer.
Mechie, John Mechie, right? I forgot about him.
Like Dalton Schultz.
Got some talent, man.
They got and they got Laramie Tunsil. He's one of the best tackles in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq Mason, Kendrick Green. They got some players.
You got some talent, dude.
They're going to be terrible.
Man. Defense, Petrie.
They could be. I mean, there's got to be terrible teams.
So. I think they're 5-6. 5-6 win team.
All right, Ryan's kind of with me.
That's terrible. I would have said 5
they
wins.
went for 2 and
for their age.
16,
I don't think it's terrible.
15 last year.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible for their age.
I think they're going to get a couple wins that nobody expects.
They brought in Jimmy Ward. They brought in Jimmy Ward from the Niners. They got DeMeco Ryans as their coach. Jalen Petrie.
I like DeMeco as their coach.
Petrie is awesome. Derek Stingley is a blue chip corner. I don't really like their linebacker.
Well, Stingley this is only his second year too, right?
It's the second year. Like I just like the way they're heading.
Got a lot of talent over there, Sean.
I didn't think I was going to have to defend that the Texans are going to stink.
I'm just saying they're not going to be the dregs of the year. I don't think it's going to be them.
Let's put it this way: they're going to be picking in the top 6 next year.
You think so?
Well, if they had a first round pick, they might have traded it for Will Anderson. Actually,
I don't think that's like the worst thing. I just think they're so young. They're getting better. A lot of these guys, you're looking up and down the starting roster, are first, second year guys, and then they brought in some veterans to help these guys along. And I think they're definitely on the up.
I could see them. Yeah, maybe they hit their rock bottom. And it's an upward trajectory from here.
Well, can't get much lower than 2 wins.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do our predictions. Let's move on. So these are our annual predictions that are always exactly accurate. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're always right on the money.
We're going to be going over.
Are you noting it, Sean? Are you going to note it down?
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Okay.
We're going to be noting. Doing game picks for all 272 games. So this is going to be a 7-hour podcast. Everybody buckle in. Actually, I just had to do that math. It was like 17 games, 32 teams.
Nice work.
Yeah. It's probably wrong. But we're going to do, what do you guys want to do first? You want to do team stuff like Super Bowl?
Whatever you want to do.
We should do the Super Bowl kind of.
All right. We were just talking about teams. Let's just do that. Okay. Let's start. All right, let's start with the Super Bowl champ. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
For me, I'll start it. I'll say the Eagles.
You think the Eagles are run it back?
I think the Eagles are going to run it back. They're just so deep. They're well coached. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They have 2 really good, solid running backs, really good offensive line, good defense all across the board. Quarterback solid, good receiver. There's just no weakness in that team. So
yeah.
And they're the type of team that could lose a guy. I mean, Jalen Hurts could go down, and you could have Mariota, or who's the other kid? The big kid they got from whatever. Doesn't matter. They're just good enough everywhere, even if someone goes down, to be competitive.
Well, then the other issue is with the NFC. It's like I feel like I have to take. I guess I have to take the Eagles because you look at the rest of the goddamn conference. It's like, who are you going to pick? The Vikings? They got smoked in the playoffs last year.
To win the Super Bowl?
To win the Super? Yeah. Who are you going to pick? And
we're saying to win it.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I thought we were talking NFC, AFC. I'm sorry. Who's going to win it? I'm going Bengals.
Hey, me too.
Okay. That's funny. I have the Eagles versus the Bengals in the Super Bowl.
Well, that's what I did. I thought last year we just picked who was the matchup. I'm sorry.
Do we all have Eagles Bengals in the Super Bowl?
No, I had Bengals Niners.
Wow.
I just didn't want to pick the Eagles.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, who do you pick? Who do you pick in the friggin' NFC outside the Eagles or maybe the Niners? It's like them. Can't pick Minnesota. New Orleans.
I know. I was looking around. It's like
shut up, dude. Not
Cowboys, Seahawks. There's no one.
There's nobody. Yeah, it's like Detroit. You know, you got to bet on Jordan Love and Green Bay? No. I mean, the Rams and Cardinals are going to be maybe the worst teams in the league.
Detroit's a little bit interesting, though.
I mean, they might be decent out of default because the rest of their conference is horrible.
You guys are pretty aligned. You got the same teams winning the conferences,
but we don't agree on Detroit. We're very split on Detroit.
Well, yeah.
I like that team, man. I like the pieces.
You like it? My brother's been talking them up to me for the past week, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it until they, win a few games in a row. I know they had a good stretch in the end. I feel like Dan Campbell is just his shtick gets old after a while. It happened to Miami.
It's only been
learned from his mistakes.
It's only been 3 years, and I think he coached Miami for like half a season.
That's true, or whatever. Whatever. I get you have to go Philly. It sucks. I hate picking the fucking Eagles for anything.
You can't really go against Philly right now. I think that.
Until somebody else in the NFC, until somebody else in the NFC midway through the season shows that they're a contender, there are no
contenders. The Niners are the biggest.
It's the Niners. I mean, we didn't.
I don't think Purdy can last that long, dude.
Well, we didn't get to see it.
Well, they got Darnold.
They played in the NFC Championship game. Yeah, they got Darnold.
What is that injury he had again? It was his shoulder?
A UCL. It's the ulnar collateral ligament.
Like a Tommy
John ligament.
So how does that work for quarterbacks? Is that just fine?
It's the baseball thing that makes your arm go forward like this. It's the
right. So Tommy John, I know, is like it's fine for baseball players. As quarterbacks, you're just good.
I don't even know if he had Tommy John or if he had something else. Tommy John is where they remove your torn ligament and they put in a new one.
Right.
I don't know if he
had that. Dr. James Andrews. So I don't know if I don't know if he did. He's the most famous doctor in the world, right? Dr. James
he's got to be. Everybody knows his name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know my doctor and Dr. James Andrews. That's the only two doctors I know.
That's good. Okay.
I mean, I just have a tough time believing that he's going to be able to go 18, 21 games.
Yeah. Maybe he misses a chunk in the middle of the season. He comes back for the playoffs. So do you guys both have the Niners in the NFC Championship game? Losing to the Eagles?
By default.
No, I don't.
You don't? Who we got?
I have the Eagles beating the Lions.
Oh my god, dude.
My goodness, he's going all in on this.
I did. That's what I had.
I looked around the NFC and I'm like, who can win a playoff game?
Literally, dude. There's nobody there. There's nobody there.
I didn't want to be like cookie cutter, like just picking.
There's the thing is, there's no quarterbacks. It's like, who is the quarterback you're putting your money on? You're putting your money on Jared Goff. That's where we're at.
The case for Minnesota is that Brian Flores is coaching the defense.
Oh, he's there for defense.
Brian Flores is their defensive coordinator. Oh, he's a legitimate adult in the room. He's a good coach. Nobody ever said he was not a good coach.
But I think they're going to be good. The They'll probably win their division, but would they win a record? What was it? 11 games by 3 points or less, or 1 score or whatever.
Yeah, I think they might have even had a negative point differential, and they went 13-4.
That doesn't happen every year. That's gonna whatever that was covering up is all gonna come out this year, and they're gonna be like 8-7 or at 8-9 or something, 9-8, squeak into the playoffs.
So I had the Lions there, but like if you had me put down money,
would you bet on that? Yeah, exactly.
So if you had me put down money, it's like 49ers.
Right.
I don't know, Minnesota, Dallas, Giants, possibly.
Yeah.
I can't see Daniel Jones winning 2 playoff games.
So if you have me do that, depends on how much money, right? Like depends on the pay. Depends on the payout, dude. Because
of course.
Yeah.
I'll take the Lions as a long shot there. I think that's
What's the
That's fine.
Lions' odds on to win the Super Bowl?
There you go. You look that
it's
up.
gotta
While
be
you're doing
horrendous.
that, let's talk about AFC. So we got
Plus
I think
2,200, Rye. Put
Wow.
on $100, you win
$100.
2,200.
What does that get me? I don't even know.
2,200
100
plus 2,200,
is
you get
what-
$2,200 if you put 100.
That's not enough.
He's looking for a $30,000 payout. You
Put
bet
10
on the
bucks
Texans.
down, you win 220.
You guys bet on the Texans.
There's an actor's
Texans.
strike right
There we
now,
go.
dude. I'm not
Yeah, we
trying to
can't
put
really
them-
spend money. We're both
Yeah.
currently out of work because of the.
the actor's
Maybe that's too
strike,
much
yeah.
information.
And writers.
Yeah,
TMI.
there you go. Okay, well, we'll consult our legal counsel on
The
whether or not
odds
to edit that out.
don't even come up for the Houston Texans. You
Yeah,
have to
'cause
go.
No one's even thought to make that bet.
What?
Let's
the
see.
AFC
Wait, hang
Championship
on.
game, the Texans? I didn't say
Texans.
that.
Yeah.
No, Super Bowl plus 20,000.
There you go. That's
Put
the odds you're
$100
looking
on
for.
it?
That's you put down $100, you win 20 grand.
Yeah, CJ
That's
Stroud
awesome. Except they'll
is
never
Dan
do
Marino.
it. So imagine
What
the
are we
stress.
talking about, dude?
Yeah,
What are
too
we
much,
talking
too
about?
much. Let's get back on track. Talk about the AFC.
All right,
So
all right.
we all got the Bengals advancing out of the AFC. Who do
Mhm.
they take down in the championship game? I'll go first.
Right. Okay.
I just didn't want to take the Chiefs. And honestly, some of the things that are going on around that team, it's a little unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going the Chargers. I think the Chargers are a
God.
high upside team.
Oh boy.
And that's what you're talking about. A team that could beat a good team in the playoffs. The Bills
I love
haven't
that.
shown
I
it
don't
yet.
have it. I love
Yeah.
it, and I don't have that, but I wish I did. Because you know how high I am on the kid there.
Herbie Hancock.
Herbie Hancock.
Yeah. That's me.
Who
do you
do
have?
you
What
got,
do you-
Right?
I got the Bills. I
Yeah.
think
I got the
that
Bills.
the
They're a
Bengals over
safe
Bills
pick.
makes sense. I mean, we are really dogging the Chiefs right now, I think, but you know, I just don't want to see it again. Really, is the reason I think I picked the Bills.
Same.
And I honestly wanted to pick the Chargers, so I got Bengals
I'm
over
gonna
Bills
go
and
for-
Eagles over Lions, and the Eagles take the championship over the Bengals.
I mean, my gut wants to tell me the Chiefs, but I don't know. Kelsey being hurt already. The thing with Chris Jones, like you said, there's a lot of smoke there. I don't know. I have a feeling that it's going to be one of those years where they're just dealing with injuries and getting guys healthy and getting guys on the field, which, you know, we had those years with Tom Brady where it's just like everyone was hurt and you're throwing anybody on the field to get there, and it just completely derails so much of the other talent. I'm going to go for a complete wild card. I wouldn't put any money on it, but I'm going to go the Ravens. I'm going to say Lamar has a great season. I think they have a good
Interesting.
defense. They've got a lot of talent there. I think J.K. Dobbins sucks at running the ball. Hopefully they find another running back. But I don't know if that can happen, though. Can two teams from the same division be in the
Sure thing.
same?
Yeah.
They can if it works out, right? The standings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go them. I'll go them or the Jags. I feel like the Jags could run away with that division.
Ooh, ballsy, dude.
We
I
haven't
like
Trevor
talked
Lo-
about the Jags. I
Dude,
feel like
Trevor
it's another high
Lawrence-
upside.
Just got Calvin Ridley. By all accounts, Calvin Ridley has been killing it in training camp. I don't know if you've heard this.
Oh yeah.
Crushing it.
Yeah,
Looks
we've
like a
been
different
watching it.
player.
Yeah.
You know, they've got some. You were talking about them earlier, Rye. They've got a couple players on offense that are pretty good. They've shored up their offensive line a little bit, and they've got some talent there. They've got some talent. Trevor Lawrence is. I mean, is he going to make the leap? Right.
Yeah.
He was considered the Peyton Manning, you know, the one guy in 10 years that's got all the attributes that you want in a quarterback. Tough rookie season. Doug Peterson came along, brought him along last year for definitely an improving season, and it could be this year where he's fucking dominant. That's definitely in the cards.
Better O-line. He's got multiple guys to throw to. Ridley, Kirk, Zay Jones. Two running backs that are pretty decent.
Who's behind ETN?
Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby.
Oh, Tank, yeah.
Decent defense. Some pieces there. Trayvon Walker, was he the first pick last year?
Yep. First
Devin
overall.
Lloyd, Josh Allen, Tyson Campbell, Andre Sisco. I like. It's a decent team
man.
there.
I can see that. I mean,
Aluakon,
go for it.
Yeah.
There's definitely
another team that could pop off. They could be a surprising. Oh, they went 13-4.
I mean, the
You're like,
AFC,
whoa.
league's AFC is very competitive, man. Like,
dude, the AFC playoffs are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Or, well, they should be. We'll see. I mean, you know how it always kind of some stuff fade out throughout the season, but I think it's going to be unbelievable. Versus the NFC, it's going to be like, what? Kind of like last year, like, what the hell is going on here? There's 2 or 3 teams.
Bills,
One of
Chiefs,
them falls
Chargers.
off immediately.
Bills, Chiefs, Chargers,
Bengals, Ravens,
Jaguars,
Jags.
It's like
Jets and Dolphins.
All those teams are in the conversation.
Maybe the Patriots.
I think all those teams would be ranked ahead of everybody but the Eagles in the NFC. Maybe not the 49ers, but it's the close,
Eagles are,
right?
The Eagles are the only one that would be in that conversation with those teams if they were in the NFC or the AFC.
Yeah, I'd say the Niners would be too. Yeah. They would be.
Niners, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty good Final Fours for each of us. We got them jotted down. We will revisit come February, see how we did. Let's move on to individual awards. MVP. Last
I'll go
year,
first
Patrick
on this.
Mahomes. What we got?
I'm going to go Smoking Joe. Smoking Joe Burrow. I think he's going to win the Super Bowl. I think it's his time to shine. He wants to show off that he deserves that big $55 million contract or whatever that ridiculous number is at this year. They got in their offense, dude. If those guys stay healthy, Jamar Chase was hurt for 4 games or something last year, and it kind of took a little bite out of him. If they can stay healthy on offense, I don't know of any team, even though we almost kind of beat them, which is shocking.
Orlando Brown in there too?
Yeah, they got Orlando Brown. Their tackle situation's great finally. That was the story of Burrow's early career, like a lot of young quarterbacks. It's just getting fucking crushed. And now they've surrounded his offensive line with a lot. I don't really think too highly anymore of Joe Mixon. I feel like he's fallen off a bit compared to what other people think of him, but I just think he's got so much freaking talent, and they had so much talent around them, and their coach has been doing a really good job with them. Going Smoking Joe. Plus, he's on my fantasy team, so that'd be nice.
And I had that written down, but I'm not going to do it because you did it. I'm going Justin Herbert.
You just had to find an excuse to do it.
I had to do it, and that's a perfect excuse to do it. I fucking love the kid, man. He's healthy. He's got a new offensive coordinator that
got the same dipshit coach.
Yeah, but I'll take the offensive coordinator. I think that matters more to me in this situation.
Who'd they get there?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, yeah.
Where was he again last year?
Dallas.
Okay.
They got Eckler back, who's best pass catching tight end or best pass catching back, I would say, in the league. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams are back. One of them is probably going to get hurt. You still have Josh Palmer. You brought in a first-round pick in Quentin Johnston, who is speed and size to the highest degree. Gerald Everett,
and he'll help when one of those guys gets hurt.
Tight ends. Rashawn Slater, Zion Johnson, big-time players, first-round picks on their offensive line. I just like the situation there. I think it's better. I think it's a lot better. And healthy Justin Herbert, I know what he can do. So I'm gonna go Herbert there.
That's a good one. I'm going Jalen Hurts. I think he's one of the favorites. But like we said in the NFC, this Eagles team is going to win 13, 14 games, something like that. They're going to
most likely, yeah.
And if you're the quarterback,
it's about the wins too. It's about the wins.
Yeah, you're the quarterback
too,
and the best team in the league.
That's the thing. It's about the wins, and like you look a lot better when your team wins, even if you have a bad game. So unless your numbers are out of control, then I think that the quarterback from the best teams is the MVP. And I just want to mention here, we're really trying to stay away from the Chiefs, right? Like, no one wants to see Mahomes and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, win MVP, win nothing. We don't want to see them win shit, right?
Yeah.
Literally.
One of the things about these awards is a lot of it's the story around it, and people get tired. There's a reason Brady didn't win more MVPs is because people were like,
definitely.
We've seen him already. For some reason, people didn't get tired of Peyton or even Rodgers.
They did. There were times they got tired of Peyton.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, what did he win the Super Bowl in 09 or 08?
My thing with Peyton Manning
06.
was I never got
they
too
lost to the Saints in 09. Was that
Yeah.
what it
I
was?
never
That
got
was the
too
best
sick of
season
Peyton
he had.
Manning because I felt like he conducted himself so well, like as a
Dude,
professional.
me and Granny hated
No.
Peyton.
Yeah.
Manning. Go back to
No.
our 2013 episodes when we started
my
this fucking
God.
thing. Oh
you
my
look
God.
back though, he wasn't the most hateable guy. He was just really
Oh no, he
No,
was
not at
great.
all.
He was great. It was just he was Brady's,
Nemesis.
No,
him
he was
and
his
Brady.
nemesis,
It was his
but
nemesis.
he's not.
So,
I mean, it was always Brady. You wanted to say Brady over Manning because you had Brady. Like,
right.
Yeah.
you
Of
know what I
course.
mean? Like, it wasn't like he was a dickhead like Aaron Rodgers.
No,
you know what
he
I
was
mean?
awesome.
No.
He was like a hilarious,
I know. I
good
would
personality dude.
I would get mad about how much I liked his commercials. I'd be
Yeah,
like, God
I know.
damn it. He's so
It's like
good.
we tried to find anything we could. Be like, oh, he did that. He's a terrible person
Yeah.
all the time. And it was like the littlest. It was like such small stuff.
That
I
was
think-
it for me. Like, I was always just trying to find shit to like hate the Colts for. And obviously, I
Well-
hate the Colts, but it's not like
Was it
They
old?
were
2011, the 4th and 2? Was that 2011?
That was 2010.
God,
2000,
that game.
2010.
That game was a regular season game.
No,
I think-
2009. It was 2009, actually.
So I think right around that 2009, 2010, 2011, people started getting sick of Peyton Manning, just from a national standpoint, kind of like the Brady thing.
Yeah. But
When
then he had his comeback. He sat out a year.
He was
he came
so
back.
dominant, dude. He was
Yeah.
so
Dude,
dominant.
man.
That's
Yeah.
why it was like
Listen,
That year, I think it was 04, when Marvin Harrison and him were just like
just crushing
stupid,
it.
You know, just annoying.
I mean, he had two of the best receivers of all time on
Like,
those teams too.
It's honestly
Kinda
my
goes
favorite game
unnoticed.
of all time. My favorite game ever was the Patriots in Foxborough, 2004 AFC Championship game, and Ty Law changes the fucking rules of football by just bullying the shit out of Marvin Harrison. He's still jamming him 10 yards out of bounds.
To the point where
You
he
know?
cried. They had to change the fucking rules.
They changed the fucking rules. And Ty Law had 3 picks in that game, by the way. And Peyton Manning did not know what to say. You know, like it was just Ty Law took the game. You know,
Yeah.
He did have something to say. He said, "We can't allow that to happen anymore. We've got to
Okay.
change the rules."
We are so far off track.
All right, it happens.
but all right, sorry.
But you're
Hey,
right. None of
hey.
us picked Mahomes, but Mahomes is probably one of the betting favorites.
Yeah,
He's
top
probably a top 3.
yeah.
Okay. Offensive player of the year. So I looked back at previous seasons, and it's either the same guy as the MVP,
Or
if
a
it's the
running back.
quarterback, or
I hate
it's a
that.
running back or receiver. And so
I hate when
I
they
just
take-
decided when they do the same person for the award, it's
I
annoying.
hate it.
It's
hate it.
annoying.
So you
So-
want to do someone different?
Well, I chose to do. You don't have to.
Okay.
I chose to go with Jamar Chase.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Just to switch it up, I'll go Justin Jefferson. He's absolutely phenomenal last year. Completely dominant. I mean, not often do you see a receiver like that. That's that good. I mean, against the Patriots in that freaking game, it's like the
Against
catches
the
he was
Bills.
making, and against the Bills. I mean, some of those games, it's like holy shit.
That
You know,
game
it's like
against the Bills, yeah.
watching a Randy Moss. Like, he doesn't have the same exact skill set or anything as Randy Moss. Just does, like, seeing someone physically dominate every other athlete on the field, and these are the best athletes in the world, and this dude's just head and shoulders above them,
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Right.
I had Jamar Chase, same as you. I'm looking at what he can do with Joe Burrow this year. The things that Tyler Boyd and who's the other big
T.
guy?
Higgins.
Higgins creates for him as far as like freeing him up to be himself after the catch kind of stuff where he just runs away from guys. I think it's him and Justin Jefferson are the two best offensive players in the league, minus quarterback. And I hate seeing quarterback win offensive player of the year.
Yeah. That's good. All right. Defensive player of the year. Last season was Nick Bosa. I believe Chris Jones finished in second. I don't think anybody's taking Chris Jones, given the fact that he might not play a third of the season.
Yeah.
I'm going back to a previous winner. I'm going TJ Watt.
He was injured last year, right? Coming back.
He got injured in November.
Gotcha. I was gonna go Nick Bosa, and I kind of forgot that he's still dealing with this contract shit. So if that all gets shored up, I'd go Nick Bosa. If not, I'll go Micah Parsons. He kicked ass
Parsons
last
is
year.
the betting favorite.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he kicked ass last year. It's a kind of a surprise he didn't get Defensive Player of the Year. It went to Nick Bosa, I think, last year.
Yeah.
So I would think Nick Bosa runs it back. Kind of seems like a trend for those defensive linemen who are just so dominant to kind of rack up a couple in a row. TJ Watt would be one of those guys. But yeah, Micah Parsons, I think it's if he has the same season or expands on last season, it's his due.
Okay, I'm going way off topic, way off
the board.
The radar.
I mean, I don't even think Vegas has this guy. I was gonna pick Nick Bosa, but his contract situation is up in the air. I don't even know if he's going to play week 1, week 2, week 3.
We're building the anticipation here.
Micah Parsons is the easy one to project. I'm going way off. Jalen Petrie, Houston Texans.
I don't even know who that is. Who is that?
He's a playmaker. He's just a playmaker, dude.
Jalen Petrie?
I'm going Jalen Petrie way the fuck off. Just a playmaker that's going to make plays everywhere. So I'm on a limb on this one.
There you are.
I see your face.
I'm stunned. We've spent like 10 minutes on the Texans in this podcast. It's insane. Okay.
What position is Jalen Petrie?
He's a safety.
Oh my God. When's the last time a safety won Defensive Player of the Year?
I just think he's a ball hawk, dude. I think he's a ball hawk,
happened?
dude.
I don't know.
I think
Ed Reed might have done it.
Ed Reed might have won it. That's a good one, yeah.
All right, rookies.
I feel like he's that kind of player, man. He can come up, make tackles. He can play.
But no one's heard of him. That's the problem. No one's heard of him.
No one's going to vote for him. Dude,
hey,
kind of off topic, but I sent
I don't like going third because then I have to do shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but it's someone asking Deion Sanders who the most athletic person he's ever seen was. It goes, Bo Jackson. Was he the most athletic person you ever seen? He goes, no. My crackhead cousin named Junebug was the most athletic person I've ever fucking seen.
God. I thought
he talks about him, and he's like, "Oh, it's ridiculous." And then he's like, "Besides him, yeah, Bo Jackson was number 2." But
I'm telling you,
Junebug was way.
You never know, man. I'm telling you, some of these drug addicts on the streets, like you never know, like they could be really good athletes. They just got fucking sidetracked.
They went the wrong path.
Crack.
But I thought that was the funniest thing. His cousin Junebug. It's like he's the most athletic.
Is that what Jalen Petrie is? He's Junebug.
Yeah,
we're gonna call him Junebug.
Right, I think I sent that to you on Instagram. You gotta check it out. It's funny as hell.
Well, we're gonna have to watch Jalen Petrie together because.
All right.
Let's talk about the rookies.
Rookies.
You guys are tough to corral. You guys are like 2 wild Broncos right now.
Having too much fun.
Offensive rookie of the. I think Ryan gets to go first on offensive rookie of the year, so none of us take his choice.
Bijan.
If you don't if I go third, I'm gonna pick someone off the wall. So Bijan is the obvious pick, right? Like he's a running back. He's got that spot. He's the most talented offensive player in this draft. Probably, he's the most talented running back since easily Saquon, but probably more Adrian Peterson. Like quick, short area burst and like real short area wiggle to make guys miss. Not quite the long speed that you get from like Saquon, but he can catch passes. He can do basically everything. I think he's an all-pro, like in the making.
James,
I'm gonna go Jordan Addison.
God damn it, that was mine.
Really?
Yeah.
For the Vikings.
Yeah.
I always go with Demario Douglas.
Yeah, Demario Douglas. He could be. I mean, he's small, man. He's small, so it's tough. Granny could tell you more about Jordan Addison. I thought he looked really good coming out of college. Goes into a good passing offense. Everybody's going to be looking at Justin Jefferson. TJ Hawkinson now too, just got the big contract. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on other people on the field, and they've been looking for a guy to fill in the old Adam Thielen role. Not that he's the same player as Adam Thielen, just like another. They need another guy, and he fills that role really well. could have a couple. Yeah, and Osborne's good, but I think Addison can be better. So Jordan Addison. Grant, you going to change it up? Or you're going to go with Addison?
I'm going to change it up.
No.
You get to own Addison. Yeah.
Addison's very smooth. I like
He's
that
so
pick.
smooth. His pit tape is incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to switch it up. I'll go Bryce Young. Rookie quarterback, name recognition. He's in a shitty division. They could go 8-9, and somebody's like, "Oh, can you believe it? Bryce Young threw for 4,000 yards."
Do you like the way he's looking?
I haven't watched him in preseason, but I loved him coming into the draft. So I'm not a huge Frank Reich fan, but I'm a huge Bryce Young fan. So I'm going to go with him. Defensive rookie of the year. James, you get this one first. Do you know any defensive rookies? That's the question.
My boy, Keon White.
Keon White? Are you shitting me?
That's
no,
awesome.
I think he's gonna.
love
I
that.
think they're gonna put him in the middle. I think he's gonna rack up like eight or 10 sacks this year. I think he's gonna be a freaking force. The guy looks like he's been in the league and does not look like a rookie. Other than that, outside of the Patriots, maybe Jalen Carter. I think he's got a big name for himself. He's on a team. He's on Philly with a very high profile.
It's tough.
Lot of media there. A lot of people to see. And he's got a lot of. He's already got a lot of hype. So
It's tough for defensive tackles, though. Isn't
it
it
is. It is.
Like,
But if he's
just
gonna,
don't have the
anyone's
numbers.
going to do it, it's on the Eagles, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Keon White's my pick. Keon White, put him down.
Oh, it's marked.
Am I going last?
No, you go. You go ahead.
Okay. I'm going Will Anderson.
Nice.
Oh, the
like,
Texans.
More Texans. Dude, I got the defensive player of the year, right? And I got Will Anderson, who's unguardable in college, right? And
D'Amico Ryan's just making the best defense of all time over there.
Well, I think he's doing a really good job.
He is. I agree. Sean doesn't, but I agree.
So Will Anderson,
I like D'Amico Ryans.
is one of these players that's like, I feel like he's generational. When I watched him at Alabama as a freshman, as a sophomore, and the way teams just schemed for him and they couldn't stop him still, like, not the best athlete of all time, just a great feel for the game. Knows exactly what he's doing, how to free himself up, understands leverage, can play the run, can play the pass. Might not get 10, 12 sacks, but he's going to make a huge difference to that team. Will Anderson for me is a blue chip defensive rookie.
All right, there we go. I'm going to go with a defensive tackle. I'm going to go Kalijah Cansey. First round pick of the Buccaneers. D tackle, okay. 280 pounds out of Pitt. I just think he's going to make splash plays. He's going to jump off the screen. Yeah, he's going to jump. People are going to notice that. Whoa, did you see what he just did? And the Aaron Donald comparisons are just so easy to make. And I think it's going to help boost him.
I love that he's playing next to Vita Vea. I mean, the amount of
that's pretty good.
The amount of single blocking, one man blocking that he's going to face, because Vita Vea just commands two guys. I love that.
Yeah,
that's a good pick.
Next one is comeback player of the year. This is a tough one because I don't really know what the definition of this is. If a guy got injured for a month, is he now the comeback player of the year the next year? Because if you look back at the history of it, it's kind of what it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are some circumstances like Alex Smith, who had a life-threatening thing, and then he came back and played, so he won it. But like Geno Smith won comeback player of the year, and I'm like, coming back from what? Riding the bench?
Right.
Like, what is he coming back from? Right. Yeah, so I don't know what the definition is. DeMar Hamlin is the overwhelming favorite. I'm looking at the odds right here. He's minus 285, and the next closest person is plus 2,000.
That to me
isn't he a special teams player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the story. It's a story.
It's a story.
It's all about the narrative.
So transparent. All
right, I got one for you that actually fits. DeAndre Hopkins. He was hurt for half the last season.
All right. Let's see if he is on the list.
Boom. I don't really
got-
believe that, though. I don't think he's going to have a good season.
I have 2 here because I don't really understand the parameters, just like Sean said. I have Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley. That's who I wanted to pick. Yes.
And
That's who I was thinking. I think I even had it written down here.
I just don't want to see
I don't know,
DeMar
my notes
Hamlin
kinda
win it just
fucked
because
up.
he got badly hurt. Like, it doesn't even really make any sense. He's not that good of a player. So you have to be a good player, I think, to come back.
Yeah.
He's coming back from injury. A lot of people come back from injury. You have to come back
Right.
and be amazing at football.
Yeah.
So Calvin Ridley for me
They
is
won't
one.
allow that. It's a
TJ
great
Watt.
pick. They would never allow. He's coming back from what? Oh, a year-long suspension from betting on games.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
would ever
Yeah.
do that.
And the other one for me is Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup, I think, is
That's a
another
good one.
is
Yeah,
a
that's
nice
a good one.
shout. You know,
Yeah. You reminded me of one earlier. John Mechie
yeah.
coming back from cancer, and he might have a breakout season. A guy that was probably going to be a first-round pick ended up dropping.
But again, he's coming back he's never done anything in the NFL.
He's never done it. Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
Right.
so
It's an odd, yeah.
it's a weird
Criteria.
award, right? Like, give me some fucking criteria here. Don't give me
Whatever brings the most tears when you write that headline.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, last one. We're almost at the end here. Thanks
one.
everybody for hanging in. Coach of the year.
Big
Coach
one.
of the year.
Real big one.
This one is, again, it's narrative driven. You know, Ron Rivera might be a bottom 5 coach in the NFL, and he's won this award 2 times.
Riverboat Ron.
He's got a career losing record. He's only had, I think, 2 or 3 winning seasons in like 10 years. And he's won Coach of the Year twice. Kevin Stefanski, former winner. It's like you look around at who wins these awards, and you're like,
Yeah, it's not good coaches. It's not good coaches.
No, it's about it's improving your record, and
Right.
it's overcoming some obstacle. You know, your quarterback got injured, you're playing with a rookie. It's all those types of things. Like last year, the Giants, Daniel Jones was dog shit. Dable comes in, Daniel Jones is good. It's like things like that. So it's not about picking. Andy Reid's not going to win this.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Sean Payton might, if that team is good.
Like Pete Carroll, no matter how good the Seahawks do, like I don't think he'll win it.
He's
I
not
feel
going to
like
win it.
if you're on a good team and you know you're going to be good, you have to go like undefeated to be in that conversation. You know,
Right.
Right. Like
So-
I pick Pete Carroll, but like I know he'll never win it because they're always a 500 plus team,
Yeah. So who you got?
and they're not going to
Who
give
you
it.
taking? You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first. I can tell you who I'm not choosing is fucking Frank Reich. After last year, I picked him and he got fired 10 games or whatever into the season.
It's an all-time worst pick.
Not picking him again. I was going to go simple. I know he's not going to do it, but I know he's not going to get fired, and that's Bill Belichick.
Wow.
I think Bill, there's, as we've talked about at length here, there's not a lot of expectations from this Patriots team. There's a lot of talk about him being done. How long is Bill going to do it? Is he going for the coaching record? Is he not? Is he done after his contract, which is up in 2 years? I think he's going to put on a good coaching, lot better than last year. I feel like he's an extremely competitive guy, and people don't really talk about that as much. They always talk, oh, is he trying to lose? Is he trying to tank? Is he doing this to screw up the team? No, I think he's an extremely competitive guy, and he knows the narrative on him, and he wants to right that wrong. I think he's only won the award once in 20 years. Didn't he win it once or no?
He definitely won it in 07.
He won it in 07.
Like he must have won another time. I mean,
I don't think so. I think he's been close and hasn't. I could be wrong about that. We can check the facts on that one. But I'm going Belichick. Someone I would have liked to choose would have been Zach Taylor, Bengals coach. But it's like, what they have, like 12 or 13 wins last year? Like,
I think 12,
like Ryan said, like they got to go unfucking defeated for this guy to get a sniff. So, and that's not happening. So I'm going Bill Belichick.
I like the Belichick pick, but I think that he's going to have to win 10, 11 games
Probably.
and make the playoffs to
It
be
might
in that
happen.
conversation.
Yeah.
With this team in the division. I think you have to give him credit for that. I have 2 that I can't really decide on. And JJ, you're going to love this. I have Dan Campbell
Oh,
or
God.
Arthur Smith,
The guy from the Falcons?
Falcon.
Dude, I wanted to pick him, and then I looked at his picture, and I was like, I can't pick this guy.
Matter of fact, I think I am going to go Arthur Smith. I'm going to go Arthur
He
Smith.
makes more sense. Dan Campbell, because of what they win. They won, 8 games, 9 games last year?
Right. So you're looking for a team that's like rebounding, right?
It's like they got to win 14 games this year for him to win.
Right. Arthur Smith, if they can sneak into the playoffs, I think that's a nice sneaky pick.
I think that's a good pick. But when you look at Arthur Smith on the sidelines, it's like, who brought, what is this guy like to try? Like, who is this guy? He's not the coach.
You know what I mean? Football coach.
It's not a head coach. Where'd this dude come from? He looks like he should be doing your taxes or something.
Yeah, and I think they're improving. I think it's a team on the up. So.
That's a good pick. That is a good pick. He is a character. That dude. I don't know how he's gonna rile those guys up to play for him because
you know what
looks funny. Crazy, he sounds funny, and nothing against him. I don't want but it's just he's a goofy looking dude.
I feel like there's so many coaches but Brandon Staley is another one. Like
you chose him last year. He should have been fired.
OC makes him look good. Yeah, he should have been fired last year. But Definitely. If that OC makes him look good,
here's a bold prediction: he gets fired finally this year. 3 years in the making.
And Kellen Moore takes the job.
Yeah,
bold prediction.
He's keeping that team back by 2 wins every year.
Okay, it's a really tough one, and honestly, I couldn't come up with a good one. I think Arthur Smith is a good one. So I just went with Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's
he's not going to win it.
I
figured you'd go with Dennis Allen. No,
New Orleans. I don't believe in him.
Yeah, I don't. He's had too many stints where he's just failed. Right? Was he he was Minnesota a while ago? Right?
No, he was in
not Minnesota,
Oakland when the Raiders were in Oakland.
It was Oakland.
So by saying Mike Tomlin, you're saying the Steelers are going to make the playoffs.
I think they will make the playoffs.
I think they will.
I mean, they're guaranteed to have a winning record. Tomlin doesn't get anything except that.
A lot of hype
around
the
Steelers are going to be better than the Browns and the Ravens.
Yes.
And the Bengals?
Who did I take?
Or the Bengals?
Yeah, in the AFC wild card, I have Patriots, Steelers, Chargers, and I got the Bengals winning that division, Chiefs winning out west, and the Bills winning the East.
Steelers,
See,
Chargers.
I could make a case here.
No other AFC East team. No Jets or Dolphins. Who do you have taken the division? You have Bills winning.
I got the Bills winning the division. Yeah,
I could make a case that the Steelers are. I mean, I could make.
They might be the 4th best team in that division.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know. Which is why if Mike Tomlin gets into the playoffs, he looks like Coach of the Year.
They've got.
I don't know if he's ever won it. I mean, Mike Tomlin is.
I assume they're going to be better than the Browns, but I don't know if they're going to be better than the Ravens or the Bengals.
Ravens is tough. Ravens have had a difficult outing the last so many years. I mean, in Lamar, it seems like gets hurt for a stretch of games every year now.
Every year, yeah.
I don't know. Pittsburgh, though, dude, I gotta say, they've got talent. Don't get me wrong, but they've got. I don't know if they just have so many fans everywhere because of the old 70s teams, but they are always extremely hyped up. And especially this year, it's everywhere. Oh, the Steelers are going to, Steelers are the sleeper team. Steelers coming up. Kenny Pickett's going to kick ass.
That's funny.
But they got so much. They got a lot of hype. Big hype train behind them this year.
Maybe it's a personal thing for me, but
you don't think so? Right now, oh my God, I think they got a huge hype train behind them this year.
Let Ryan speak, would you?
Sorry.
Right now, I'm high on the Falcons, and they're kind of in a similar position as the Steelers, right? The quarterback. Do you have any faith in that quarterback? I really don't.
I don't even know who the quarterback
but they're
is.
Good almost everywhere else.
I don't know who he is.
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have no faith in him really, but I like the offensive line. I like the running game. I like the defense. I like the weapons on offense. I feel the same way about the Steelers.
Yeah.
So
the case is Mike Tomlin wins games, and he's never won Coach of the Year, and he's universally recognized as one of the top coaches in the league.
The other difference
he's never won it, huh?
The other difference is Sean. NFC South sucks ass.
This is true,
and the fucking NFC North is
stacked.
AFC North is pretty tough.
Yeah, that'll factor into the narrative. Yeah, it's all. I mean, this is all hoo-ha. We'll find out. Sean McVay is going to go 8-8 after Matthew Stafford gets hurt, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh my God, can you believe it?"
This is going to be one of these episodes we're going to revisit, midway through you know, and
The
we're
season.
just gonna shit on JJ for picking fucking some of the, you know,
Keon White's on IR.
Keon Way, yeah, it's on IR. You pick
Knock on
Belichick.
wood.
We're fucking 5-12.
Dude, if we go 5-12 this year, he might get. I mean, that might be it.
He might hang
You
it
know
up.
what? I think that's the last thing we should really touch on. Like, what are our predictions for the Patriots?
I have them as a 9-8 team. I think they're somewhere in that 7-10, 10-7.
Yeah,
They're in that
I
window.
think right in that
Yeah.
window. I think their ceiling is 11 wins if everything goes right. Like literally, Mac Jones becomes a top 10 quarterback. Stevenson's top 10 running back. Defense is top 5. Injury bug doesn't hurt him. Offensive line holds up. I think that's 11 wins. That's the best we can do.
That's
Low
amazing.
end, I think is 7 wins. I don't think they go below 7.
No.
Bill always pulls out random wins against teams you don't expect.
7, 8, 9. I think that's the range. I'm gonna go 9-8 just because I feel like that's the coaching staff getting the best out of these guys.
Yeah.
I
mean, they really should have been 10-7 last year if Jacoby Myers doesn't lateral the ball, and then
they still had to win that. But
they still would have had to win it.
They pulled the Hunter Henry touchdown.
Well, Ramondre Stevenson fumbles going in to get the field goal to beat the Bengals.
Yeah.
Also, they had the Marcus Jones punt return to win the Jets game. So maybe you balance those out and you go, they should have been 9-8.
Jacoby Myers throwing the ball backwards, fucking 30 yards.
Yeah, and I think for them to go less than 7 wins, that means they're going 0-6 in the division, which I don't think's happening.
I honestly think
steal a game.
that Bill O'Brien is a 3-game difference.
You think so?
Over Matt Patricia, yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, you get somebody that doesn't know a fucking thing versus someone that's good at his job. Like,
yeah, I know it's a big difference. What were we 8-9 last year? Is that what we finished?
8-9, yeah.
I like 9-8. I think 9-8 is good.
We can't be worse than last year. I don't think, even with
if
a
we
harder
go 9-8,
schedule.
I hate to say this, I'm kind of happy with 9-8, and I want to just see.
I'd be happy.
For me, it's not even the record. I just want to see like
improvements, right?
Competitive progress, like. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, but I just want to see something that's entertaining to watch, to where I'm not like trying to fucking blow my brains out at halftime.
Literally. Well, dude, the thing too about everyone talking about, our schedule is extremely hard now, and it was last year, but by week 6, that's all out the door. What last year's records were and everything. I mean, there's always 1 or 2 teams at the top that fall to the middle, and a couple middling teams that go to the top that weren't on your schedule, weren't on your radar. So, I mean, everyone's making
injuries and all that. Yep.
Injuries. Everyone's making a huge deal about how hard our schedule is. It's like by week 6 or 7, half those teams might not be good anymore. It's very possible.
Yeah, but maybe the bad teams are good. So then it winds up being just as difficult. The Texans. Yeah. Okay. I think that's the theme of this podcast. But we can wrap it up here. Thank you all for listening.
Houston and Detroit.
Enjoy the kickoff game on Thursday night. Full slate of games on Sunday. Great Monday night game. And we hope we come out of this weekend with the Patriots at 1-0. Fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah.
Love you, Tom Brady. Hope you have the best celebration there. And yeah. Thanks, y'all. We'll talk to you next week.
Welcome back, Tom. Have a good week, guys.
Adios, guys.